Advocate, mentor, champion of arts and culture, skill fundraiser, passionate environmentalist, hiker, devoted parent, and friend. You can call Catherine Sam Campana many things, but at the top of the list of descriptors is natural-born leader. Throughout her 37 years in Scottsdale, Sam raised 3 children, founded or co-founded several key community organizations, advocated for the arts as a volunteer, nonprofit executive, and elected official, and as mayor, led our city into the 21st century, facing head-on important urban issues like historic and land preservation, transportation, diversity, and redevelopment. Katie Houston grew up with 3 brothers in an Idaho farm town. Population, 800. Her dad was a mailman. Her mother was a school's librarian. With 3 Kathys in her high school class, each took a nickname. She inherited Sam, as in Sam Houston, and it stuck for life. In 1969, wanting to experience life in a bigger city, she moved to Scottsdale. Population, 67,000. During her first 5 years here, Sam's life progressed from Idaho farm girl to newlywed, to full-time volunteer at 2 organizations she helped form: the Scottsdale Foundation for the Handicapped and the Scottsdale Arts Center Association. Sam became a tireless community volunteer while raising daughters Cassidy and Katie and son Richie. She also participated in a wide variety of community events as the wife of then Scottsdale City Council member Richard Campana. Sam says Richard really helped lead Scottsdale through many historic events in the 1970s and 80s. She got involved in her children's activities at Our Lady of Perpetual Help School and helped introduce countless OLPH students to the then new Scottsdale Center for the Arts. She was a founding member of the Scottsdale Foundation for the Handicapped in 1973. Even before the Center for the Arts hosted its first event, Sam was an active member of the Scottsdale Arts Center Association, serving in a number of board positions, including its first female president in 1980. During the 1970s and 1980s, she graduated with Valley Leadership Class 5 and is pleased to have daughter Cassidy as a recent fellow graduate of the program. Sam was a founding board member of the Scottsdale Western Arts Association and Share the Health Foundation, and helped Scottsdale become the first desert community to be designated a Tree City, USA. She's extremely proud of her role in co-founding Scottsdale Leadership in 1986, ensuring a steady stream of big-picture leaders for a wide range of city and regional boards and commissions. Her daughter Katie completed the program during its 20th anniversary year. Sam's life changed in the 1980s. As a single mother seeking employment, she once described herself as one of the lucky pioneer women who turned years of volunteer experience into a paying job. She became the executive director of Arizonans for Cultural Development and continued her nonstop arts advocacy. For expertise as a cultural advocate, she was selected for a National Endowment of the Arts Fellowship in Washington, D.C. Working full-time and raising a family didn't keep her away from volunteer community leadership. Sam was elected to the Scottsdale City Council in 1986 and served 2 4-year terms. Although opposed on the controversial issue, she led her fellow council members to establish a percent for the arts. Thanks to Sam's efforts, thousands of visitors and commuters enjoy art along Scottsdale's portion of the Pima Freeway and in dozens of public spaces throughout our community. She shared the process when she attended the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard and is still asked to make presentations around the country about Scottsdale's success in public art. Sam was elected mayor of Scottsdale in 1996, served a 4-year term, then opted not to run for re-election. Never one to shy away from big, hairy ideas, during her tenure as mayor, she took strong, positive stands on ballot issues concerning redeveloping the Scottsdale waterfront and Galleria, redeveloping the Los Arcos area, upgrading Scottsdale's transit and transportation infrastructure, and ensuring Scottsdale's mountain and desert preservation efforts continued. Some of these thorny issues were successful during her 4 years as mayor. Others have taken years to be resolved by the community. As mayor, Sam created international exposure for Scottsdale as an art and business center through her work and travels with the U.S. Conference of Mayors, leading delegations to Israel and Italy. She was also proud to garner significant resources to help fund one of her favorite places in Scottsdale, the Scottsdale Museum for Contemporary Art, which opened in 1999. She also led the effort to bring the Smithsonian treasures to the Galleria and was pleased to cut the ribbon at another Scottsdale edition in 1997, Nordstrom. After leaving office in 2000, Sam took on a new challenge, accepting a fellowship with the International Women's Forum Leadership Foundation. She studied throughout the U.S. and overseas, including Harvard and Cambridge, talking about community, arts, and women's issues, just like she'd always done in Scottsdale. It's always been a mission for Sam to find ways in which women can play a larger role in civic life, and as mayor, she enabled a much wider representation of women on city boards, commissions, task forces, and on her personal staff. In 2002, Sam became the vice president and first executive director of the Audubon Society of Arizona. A key focus of her advocacy and leadership will result in a new environmental asset in the valley in 2008, the Rio Salado Audubon Center. Her passion for the environment, conservation, and preservation is both personal and professional. As mayor, she helped conceive and craft the Arizona Preserve Initiative to save 19,000 acres of Sonoran Desert from development. She is a governor-appointed member of the Arizona Water Protection Fund Commission and treasurer of the Arizona Watchable Wildlife Tourism Association. On a more personal note, for 20-plus years, Sam has hiked to the bottom of the Grand Canyon over 50 times with Lee to usher in the new year. She enthusiastically invites friends and strangers alike to join her visits to the natural wonders and nature preserves of our state. Sam continues to be involved in a myriad of Scottsdale and Valley civic, charitable, and political organizations. Often her work is behind the scenes, quietly leading efforts to support programs at the Scottsdale Center for the Arts, preservation programs, and those that benefit area residents in need. But with a huge circle of friends, when Sam calls or emails, you can bet the event or cause will be superbly supported and fun. For her more public efforts, she's received the 2005 Scottsdale Leadership Drinkwater Award for Community Leadership, 2000 Women of the Year honors from the Women of Scottsdale, Scottsdale Community College Outstanding Alumni Award, and was listed in the top 100 Who's Who Arizona Women in Business. Sam Campana may best be remembered as the mayor whose brief but significant tenure in office served as the tipping point or transition period between Scottsdale's fading aura as an old West town to the vibrant mentality of a most livable city. In her words, quoting now, "We had to start looking at grown-up fixes to urban issues like redevelopment and transportation facing Scottsdale. Someone had to open that box, and it was me," unquote. Scottsdale's wealth of public and freeway art, cultural vitality, McDowell's Sonoran Preserve, Scottsdale leadership, and other institutions all show the loving and leading touch of Sam Campana.